Hello, Nelson Consulting Service. My name's Mr. Penn. My name's Bobby. Penn, P-E-N with two N's, P-E-N-N. And I just bought this new house. It's got a nice, cool front yard here, but it's kind of an odd shape. The grass out front's looking a little rough, and I want to put down some fertilizer, maybe a little weed killer, but to do it at the proper rate, I need to know the area of my front lawn, and I've got a nice pool in the back, and I use South Puget Sound Pool Service, and the guy from South Puget Sound Pool Service says you were able to help him out. And so he recommended Nelson Consulting Service, said that you guys were really good at solving some problems, and I'm thinking you could. I talked a little bit with Mr. Nelson, and he seems like you're the guys that can help us out. But anyway, what you're looking at on the screen is a satellite view of my front yard, and I want to find the area of it. And I've taken some measurements, and I followed the instructions that Mr. Nelson gave me. What I did is I started down here in the corner where the sidewalk and the driveway meet together, and what I did is I laid out a tape measure running along the sidewalk, and then I ran out another tape measure perpendicular to that. I had a little square. I can show you a picture of that here in a little bit. And I measured the distance at a right angle there across to the walkway here, and I measured that distance. And it turned out to be 26 feet and 9 inches. And then what I did is I moved over 3 feet, and I measured the distance going across again, found that distance. Moved over another 6 feet from where I started, measured the distance coming across, and then kept doing that all the way across. Every 3 feet I would measure the distance going across there, 3 feet apart, going all the way across. And then what I did when I got done is I actually came through and I measured this distance, all the way across. Then I measured the distance here along the driveway, and then this distance along the sidewalk. Made this little angle there, triangle. But then I've got all these other shapes going across here. But Mr. Nelson says you've been doing something in class with finding area, and you guys can help me out with that. Do some calculus or something and come up with a way to find that area here. Let me switch over to another picture. Yeah, let's go ahead and leave without saving there. Here's the. Well, it was advancing. Why aren't you advancing anymore? Oh, there they all go. Here we are. We'll go here. Here's the corner I set up out there. I make that bigger here. I put a screwdriver in the ground and ran a tape measure this way along the sidewalk, across the bottoms going towards the sidewalk, and this one that's vertical is going across the grass. Put a screwdriver in. I used this square to make sure it was at a right angle. And I ran one across the grass over towards the sidewalk. I had the other tape measure going down the sidewalk. I guess this one is going towards the walkway up to the front door, but this one's going along the sidewalk along the street. And then I moved over 3 feet, and I moved my screwdriver over, stuck it in the ground, used my square, measured back across towards the walkway. And then I moved over another 3 feet. So here we measured across towards the walkway. I moved over another 3 feet. Where's my little arrow that makes things move again? There we are. Moved over to the 6 foot mark. Measured across towards the walkway there. I made sure it was running parallel to that square. This one's a little off at this point, but I did fix it, straighten it out there really nice. And then I moved over a little bit farther, the 9 feet mark, measured going across, and did that all the way across the yard. I got like 15 different measurements. I got them summarized here in this Excel worksheet there, how far it was at each mark. And then again, like I mentioned, I also measured along the driveway and the walkway to that, where that first one, make a little triangle out of that. Anyway, so, oh hey, there I am. Anyway, that's my problem. I think Mr. Nelson said you guys could help me find the area there of my front yard, so I can apply fertilizer at the appropriate rate, maybe a little weed killer. I got some crabgrass growing out there and other stuff, but I need to know the area there of my front yard. Again, my name was Bobby Penn, Penn with two N's, and my address is 1523 13th Street Northeast here in Auburn, and the zip code is 98. Sorry, just moved here. 98002. All right, thank you. Look forward to hearing from you.